This video is about how do you go from unknown to unmissable. That's someone that's unknown in your niche to unmissable. How do you become the most recognizable person in your niche? There is someone in your niche who is less experienced than you, but they are more visible, they are more known, and they're getting access to more opportunities. This is not the answer. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's the fact they've built a visibility system and you did not. Just to give you a bit of background on myself, I used to work at LinkedIn, the world's largest professional social network. When I was at LinkedIn, I was number one on LinkedIn at LinkedIn globally. I had a social selling index of 98 out of 100. Post LinkedIn, I built the largest network in the UK and Europe of sales leaders called Sales Confidence. And I've gone on to create my own personal brand and became the leader, most well-known individual in my niche. Bearing in mind, I started my career in door-to-door milk sales. I went from milk sales into software to LinkedIn to building my own business. So I have an idea of what it takes to become the most well-known person in your niche. So stay close, follow along, make sure you subscribe, and let's get into it. The expertise trap. You study, you work hard, you are good, you think you're good, people tell you you're good, you do good work. You assume the market will notice. They will not. The most recognized people in your niche are not the most competent. They are the ones that have built the visibility infrastructure. It's the authority equation, which is essentially reach plus relevance times reputation, which equals authority. So reach, how many people in your niche know you exist? Relevance, does your message actually align with your audience? And reputation, and this is key, what do people say about you when you're not in the room? So there are 5 pillars of the niche authority. And this comes, if you haven't followed him, from Dan Priestley. And he talks about it in his books around influence and being a key person of influence. And I've modeled a lot of that. So I'd like to attribute this back to him. You talk about your pitch, how you publish, your profile, your product, and partnerships that you've created. Own a sentence, own a tagline. So for Sales Confidence, it was the UK's largest B2B sales community. At LinkedIn, it was, for me, LinkedIn's number one social seller. Now it's James Ski, AI native revenue for non-techies. What's your tagline going to be? Position the formula, the pitch. How do you position yourself? You got to think about the stranger test. If you went up to a stranger in the street or at a networking event, would they understand what you do? Or the elevator test. In 30 seconds, if you were going down an elevator and Richard Branson was in there, Steve Bartlett or Gary Vee, and you had a conversation with them, would they understand what your value proposition is? You've got to be able to stand out from your competition. You've got to be able to repeat it over and over again and not get bored and feel confident. It's got to be positioning where you plant your flag and you continue to be successful. 2 is you've got to build an engine. You've got to publish consistently nowadays across all channels, multiple times a day. You've got to build the system. You've got to have your flagship content like I'm doing with long form content. So people invest their time understanding you, who you are, what your background is, what value you can create. Then you've got to distribute. You've got to cut it up into shorts. Then you've got to put it across all your channels. I also recommend going live. These are all things that you can do to improve your visibility. And that's where success comes from. If it's just universal and it's, not specific to your niche, your ICP, I've talked about ICP in other videos. ICP is your ideal customer profile. For me, that's founders, entrepreneurs, sales, marketing like you, but other people that are aspiring to those roles may find me interesting. And I'm happy to talk all day long to that audience. You've got to believe what you're focused on, so people believe when they're interacting with you what you're pitching or selling. Number three is your profile, your credibility. It's the credibility around you in terms of your shop front. When people land on your shop front, i.e. your website or your LinkedIn profile or your Instagram page or TikTok, it's got to highlight that you know what you're talking about, you're a credible expert, and there's social proof. I've got other videos here on how to think about building your personal brand website using Claude and Lovable, which is super easy today. Then you've got the product. What is your asset? Is it a community? Is it a digital product? Is it speaking opportunities? Is it a service? Is it a SaaS where people subscribe? How do you create an engine where you remove yourself completely from it and it creates what we know as the dream is a passive income? And then the fifth pillar is the partnership. Become the super connector, the connective tissue. Be the host the rooms, borrow audiences, collaborate with other people, become the connector that people want to do business with, want to do social with, and that's going to expand your social proof and help you be an authority and help you move to unmissable. Now, you've got to appreciate this is a long game. You know, I was already in my industry for 10 years before I started consistently showing up on LinkedIn, which was my core platform, which I mentioned. And then from there, I've probably been doing it for the last 10 years and only really started investing in YouTube, as you can see. So I'd love a subscription. The reality is, though, these days you can start from day one, and I really believe in documenting your journey and learning with your audience as they learn from you. So start today. If you want to go to the James Ski website, you can use my scorecard to see where your authority is at in the room. If you want the free guide and you want to read about this afterwards, you can get a link below in the description. And also you can join my 90-day accelerator course to help you on your way.